And welcome back to Primetime News.
A special welcome also, once again, to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, $1.3 trillion. That's roughly how much the government plans to spend for the 2025-26 financial year.
The estimates of expenditure, revenue estimates, and other important documents were tabled in the House today by Finance Minister Favour Williams.
Andrea Chisholm has details.
The breakdown for the $1.3 trillion budget is as follows. $1.19 trillion will be used for recurrent expenditure to deal with things such as wages and salaries. For capital expenditure, money to deal with things such as roads and other infrastructure, $62.5 billion is being set aside.
Jamaica's national budget continues firmly in the $1 trillion range, having crossed that threshold for the first time in fiscal year 2022-23. Total expenditure and payments for the upcoming fiscal year are projected at $1.3 trillion. This continued strength of our budget has been so despite a backdrop in fiscal year 24-25 of dry weather or drought, severe impact of Category 5 Hurricane Beryl, Tropical Storm Raphael, and rainfall.
Almost $163 billion will go towards debt servicing, and for interest payments on the debt, $178 billion. So, how will the budget be funded? As usual, it's a combination of taxes, grants, loans, and receipts. Tax and non-tax revenues are expected to be roughly $1.09 trillion. The bulk of the tax revenue will come from income tax, roughly $340 billion. General Consumption Tax GCT is projected at $305 billion. Capital revenues are projected at $4.9 billion. $158 billion will come from loans. For specific ministries, the Health Ministry has been allocated roughly $166 billion, National Security $157 billion, and Education, Skills, Youth and Information $188 billion. In the meantime, opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson says the new estimates of expenditure comes at a critical time for Jamaica.
We are within the context, happily, low unemployment, but 700,000 Jamaicans who are outside the workforce, who have opted out, and where there's a significant gap between the needs of employers and the willingness of those who want to work. So, Madam Speaker, with the presentation of these estimates, the country is at a critical trajectory. The estimates, while tabled, and the details will come in the presentation, must address the issues of the anemic growth that the country is currently experiencing. They also must address our inability to spend our capital budget. For the fiscal year ending, $19 billion unspent. Last fiscal year, it was $11 billion. There's a direct correlation between expanding our capital budget and economic growth.
The Standing Finance Committee will meet to examine the budget on March 6 and 7, and the Finance Minister will open the budget debate on March 11. Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.